Republican leaders are pushing back Thursday on President Trump's refusal to commit to a peaceful transfer of power should he lose the November 3rd election. Trump was asked at a news conference at the White House Wednesday.
Will you commit here today for a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster. Get rid of the ballots, and we'll have a very peaceful. There won't be a transfer, frankly. There'll be a continuation.
The president, who trails Democratic nominee Joe Biden in national opinion polls, has repeatedly cast doubt on the legitimacy of the election, asserting without evidence that mail-in ballots would lead to fraud and a, quote, rigged outcome. And Trump calling to, quote, get rid of the ballots and arguing, quote, there won't be a transfer, there will be a continuation, rankled Republican leadership. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell tweeted, quote, there will be an orderly transition just as there has been every 4 years since 1792. Senator Mitt Romney tweeted,
just as there's been since our history began? Really? Because these libtards and these evil Democrats haven't acquiesced to Trump's victory 4 years ago. So since 2016, they have schemed, scammed, lied, wiretapped, falsified, suborned every type of perjury, committed every type of felonious assault on our Constitution to try to invalidate Trump's election. And they have the utter balls to ask the question to Trump, will he acquiesce to a peaceful transition of power once they have rigged the election? Can you imagine? Even as they burn down our cities, even as they scam and scheme with mail-in voter fraud schedules, who do you think you're kidding? You see, the endless transference and projection of the lunatic left, all that they do, they accuse you of doing. And so, another report about the Bidens and how many millions and hundreds of millions of dollars they took from Chinese apparatchiks and Ukrainian thug thieves, and still they don't ask the question. Joe, what are these stories with Hunter? And you claimed you didn't know a thing about it and never spoke to your son Hunter about his business in China. Well, now we've heard from third party that was with you and him in the Obama administration that you had to curb his behavior in dealing with the Chinese, and that you rode in an 18-hour flight to China with Hunter, where he met with his business associates, and they had a ceremony where they got to meet you. There was no solicitation there either. Just like with little cutie Lynch on the tarmac in Arizona or Vegas with Clinton, and they were only talking about grandchildren. They weren't discussing the potential bomb that was to explode over Hillary's email scams and all the illegalization of her State Department job and endeavors. No, it was just talking about grandparents. It wasn't about how the FBI was going to cover for her and how she needed to be coached up on what to say and how to go along to get along. And still more crooked CIA and FBI agents are weighing in on Trump betraying America. How much money has China and Russia and the Ukraine thrown at these people? The Brennans, the Comeys, the McCabe's, the Strocks. How much money? How many billions funneled through the Obama administration and into George Soros and out of George Soros? And half of the people in this country, I'm to believe, are okay with this? Because if that's the case, this country's done. So all you lefties better wake up, because you're going to wake up in a slave camp soon. Either way, you're doomed.